What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took today inside the Discord as well as the game plan going into tomorrow. So today, this is what we looked like, 30-minute chart. These are the contracts we got. We got the 555 calls, and this is what the 30-minute chart looked like. So right off of open, market was still bullish. Why? Because the 10's above the 50, and we were, hovering around this 50 SMA, which is a very, very key pivot. And I told you guys to watch out for this. And the trade to look for today was a negative cross on the put side. So I went over this in yesterday's video, but that was the trade you wanted to look for, because if we did get that negative cross, we were going to confirm a bounce at the 50. But, in this case today, that wasn't really the trade idea that was like given yesterday. The negative cross still worked today. As you can see, we ended up ripping into close, and we did get a negative cross, but off of that 50, obviously the 50 didn't end up holding, and the puts ended up crossing on the 0-day chart. So if we pull up here, 0DT chart, I actually did take a long today, and I tried to go long at this 50 SMA. As you guys know, in a trending market, you buy the 50 dip. So when we were in this area up in here, I did buy the 50 dip, and based on the 0-day chart, it looks very ugly. Like, oh, why'd you buy that dip? Because it did look really good at one point. I probably should have waited for the candle closure, because if I did, that probably would have kept me out of this. But yeah, I did try a long position there, and I'm going to try and show you guys exactly what it looked like when I saw it, because it looked good in my opinion. So I did take it, and this is what it looked like. So yeah, you can see the 10 was like it was pretty much recrossing right here. 10 was going back above the 50, and the only thing I could have done differently was probably just wait for the candle closure, because we did get this dip. So that is like the reason I did buy it, because we got this massive move higher on the premiums, and we got the pullback to the 10, the 50. I took a try at it. I stopped for like 30 points, I believe, a little bit more than that. I think maybe like 33, 34 points. But yeah, that was the trade I took today. In my opinion, I would have taken this any day of the week. It looked good, so I gave it a go. We just couldn't hold the 50, as you can see, and we end up closing back below it right here. Obviously, I did not hold on this candle right here. Like this candle, I was already out of it. I was out of it during this candle. So I bought the touch of the 50, and then I stopped out once it couldn't get back above. But once we started to break below that 50, and I was down like 30, 35 points, that's when I cut it. And it is what it is. It's a losing day. It's all good. It's all part of the process. I'm not worried. Like, I know we're gonna come back with a heater probably tomorrow, but yeah, this chart ended up crossing negative, and of course you don't take this negative cross here. Like, I would not be shorting a negative cross when price is at the 30-minute 50 right here. So you guys know, it's a major pivot right here. We end up wicking off of it a little bit, ultimately ended up breaking down and closing below that key pivot, which did drop us a little bit. So if we pull up the put chart now, the 550 puts, you can see we got this cross in the 0-day chart. Again, I'm not taking this cross because it's still the 50 was sloped up a lot. We're still hovering around the 50, so I'm not taking this cross. Not a trade that you want to take. We did get this reclaim right here on the puts, which did run for some points. It was pretty clean. So we got the reclaim right here, and then it ended up dropping, I think, like 50, 60 points from there. So honestly, you probably could have gave that a go. We did have the like 1 hour 50 not too far away, so that's why you definitely would have trimmed on that move lower, move your stops. We are in a neutral market. I would take it. This type of market, when this 30-minute chart looks like this, I would consider us more so neutral, just because we lost the key support. Now we're waiting to see if this could recross tomorrow and get back bullish. So once we lose the 50, market's pretty much neutral at that point. It's not fully neutral until we get this 50 to curl down, which it is starting to be flat now. So tomorrow we're either gonna be neutral, which we are right now, and if we go recross on the 30-minute, then we will be back bullish. But this is the 1 hour 50. You can see we pretty much tapped it to a T and then reversed. Higher time frame area of support there on the 50. That's why the puts really didn't drop much more from there. We ended up coming into that support on the 1 hour bounce. Obviously, I'm not taking a trade off of the 1 hour 50, so really no trade to look for right there. The trade you would have, like the way you would have caught the bounce, was just playing the negative cross. So this was a trade I did tell you guys that you could take. We're in a pretty much neutral / more bullish market, I guess you could say. Like, when the 50 is still trending up, I still would favor the bulls a little more. I'd still favor the bulls a little more over the bears, but it's more so like leaning towards the neutral market with that slight bullish bias, I guess you could say. It's a little confusing, but that's how I kind of interpret that and read that. So once this chart went negative, you could have taken this for a nice long position, which did end up running. I wasn't on the charts for this trade, so I didn't take it. But it was a good trade. 10 went below 50. The 50 started to curl down, and you would have been up a good amount. I know Colton called this out in Discord, so he gave you guys this move. He went short, or he went long at the 220, 225 candle. So that was right in this area down in here. So one of these, like during these two candles, is where he got the entry, and then obviously we got this move lower. It never broke below 10. It just kept holding below 10, which is always a good look, and it gave you some points. I'm pretty sure that went over 100 points, but obviously in a neutral market, once you're up that like 50 points, just take that 50 and leave it at that. Even though the 50 is still up on the 30-minute, just take your 50, move on to the next day, and let that be that. So that's what we did today. That's what I did today. Is what it is. I tried that 50 dip, didn't work out. I'm gonna, it's the same type of trade that I would take all the time, so I'm not too worried about that. It's just losing day. It's all part of the game. Nothing to worry about. We'll catch probably a good 0-day cross tomorrow. That will be the trade to look for, because if we do get the 30-minute to cross tomorrow, if 30-minute chart goes back bullish, we will see a good upside day in my opinion, and we should be able to catch a really good move. So if that's the case, 0-day cross on calls, 50 dip on calls will be the move tomorrow if the 30-minute crosses back bullish. If we don't and we drop overnight and market is back, or not back, but still neutral, then obviously a put cross will most likely be on the table at that point, because if it's not going to cross tomorrow, most likely is going to break back below the 10, the 50, and puts are going to cross, and that'll be the trade we take. And then from there, 10 SMA reclaim on puts would also work. So those are the trades for tomorrow. That's what we did today. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a sub. I'm out. Peace.